you, I think, are the only person to ever have, on the I Do remix, you had Jay, Drake, and Andre on the same song. Is there something about you that, you know, brings out the best in all the artists that you're working with?
I always noticed me and Jay always kind of like, you know, low-key spar on records.
I be don't promise to treat this game IDO. Honor the code, not bring drama to mama's peephole.
With Drake, I just felt like, because I got the Drake verse like a little later, but I just felt like it was needed.
And God forbid we ever trade our wisdom for the glamour. And I know I'm just a boy that a woman can make a man of.
Andre 3000 is just like, he just a different type of individual. Like, it's just his process, the words he put, it's just different.
Say you do, I do, I do, I do, I do. So we can float up out of here in this hot air balloon.
You know what I mean? He just got a talent within a talent. So for me, I just think for them to get on a record like that with myself, because everybody brought different aspects to the record, but for me, I was really talking about being married to the streets.
Promise if I get locked, you come and pay my bond. If you hear some niggas plotting on me, you ring the alarm.
And that was my whole thing when I said I do. I think the things that they were talking about, everybody kind of took a little different from it. But I think when you have a song so epic as that, everybody brings their A game. And I think that comes when you make great music, you know what I mean? So when people, that's another thing too, like I would never want to do music with somebody who doesn't respect my art. And I feel like all of them respect my art just as much as I respect theirs, you know what I'm saying?
Was there a verse you got back for, whether it was that or another song that like blew your mind, that you didn't expect them to come with something like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Kanye's Put On verse. Yeah, it was...
What was that moment like?
He rapped it to me on the phone. I was just like, yo, just send it to me. Because he was trying to sing it and rap it. I was just like, yo, I can't. And he sent it to me, and I just sat back and listened to it, and I was just like, I played it again, and I was just like, I played it again, I was just like, yo, he spazzed on this. I had never heard, you know, that was like classic, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember when they played on the radio station in Atlanta, they played the song maybe like 200 times back to back. I've never heard, you know, a song played that many times. So he really went in. That was like one of the most epic verses I ever got back from somebody else when I sent it out.
I wanted to ask you about the reverse when you were on Ye's album.
Right.
But not Amazing. The one that I wanted to ask
Get My Money Right?
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing.
So this is how that happened. So Get My Money Right was a song with me and T.I. It was called I Got Money. I sent it to Ye. Ye put a verse on it, but Ye wanted to know who produced the record. So I told him DJ Toomp produced the record. So somehow he got in contact with DJ Toomp and changed his whole sonics on his verse. So that was Ye's doing. So when he sent it back, I'm just like, yo, man, this is a whole different song. I got to turn my album in 2 days. I can't, you know what I'm saying? So he was just like, I'm telling you, it's crazy. I was just like, yo, I just can't use it. So I never used it. Times go by, 6 months later, I'm in LA. He calls me to come to the studio. He wanted to play me something. He played me Wait Till I Get My Money Right, which is the same song and same verse that he sent me. He just added another verse to it.
Life is depending how you dress it.
And then he asked me, he was like, yo, can I keep your ad-libs? And I was like, you know what, you can, it's cool.
Can't tell me nothing.
Get My Money Right came out in the hit form. And I was just like, damn, I just gave you a hit record. We was in London and we had this big show. So I went on about 9:30, he went on about 11. So when I went on, it was in this park. It was like maybe like 20,000 people when I went on. And then when he went on, it was like 80,000 people. And the first song he came out to was Get My Money Right. And the whole crowd, and I was just sitting there going, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I was like, yo, he owed me one. And this was not too long after his mother passed. He wasn't doing verses, and I called him. I was like, yo, I got this record. And he's like, yo, I really ain't been in the booth. I was just like, I get it, but you know, we need you.
I lost the only girl in the world that know me best.
He's like, okay, send it. And I sent it to him. He's like, what does Put On mean? And I was just like, okay, so in Atlanta, like, we put on for the city. Like, we pop, we talk, you know, you fly, you cool.
Do your
He's like, okay, I got it. He said, I'll call you back in 10 minutes. He called me back and rapped me the verse on the phone. And I was just like, yo, just send me the record. So he sent me and L.A. Reid the record at the same time. So before I can listen to it and call him back, L.A. Reid was calling me like, yo, when are we putting this out? This is the single. I was like, yeah, it is the single.
You get that big fame on me and you just changed on me. You can ask big homie, man, the top sold on.
You know what's crazy is what you said before. You had to lose something to gain something.
Yeah, you had to lose something.
Yeah. Another song that had to have just had a crazy impact on you, My President.
Yeah, my president is black, my Lambo's blue, and I be in my rims ain't too.
Do you remember the moment that you heard back from Obama? Like, not directly, but someone said, yo, this is what Obama said about the song. He heard it.
I only heard what he said back when he shouted me out at the correspondence dinner. That's the only time I personally heard what he said about the song.
First term, I sang Al Green. In my second term, I'm going with Young Jeezy. Michelle said, yeah. I sing that to her sometime.
I was supposed to go to a dinner in New York, but when I got there, the Secret Service wouldn't let me in, technically, because of my, allegedly, because of my track record, and they were saying I was still under investigation. You know, I don't know. When I really realized, because I put the song on the album 4 months before he even won, but I knew it, you know, so I did all these things in the neighborhood, like I got buses and chartered people to the polls and had lawyers talking to people about, you know, cases that they still can vote. So it was like a personable thing. And then for me not to get in the dinner, I did kind of feel the way. But when I really knew the song was real was the night he won. I hopped in my Lamborghini. I was just riding around Atlanta and with the doors up and playing My President is Black. But I wasn't the only one doing that. Like the whole city was doing that. I'm just like, oh, this is crazy. So that's the moment I really realized, like, yo, because when I put it on the album, everybody's like, why would you put it on the album? He hasn't even won yet. I was like, he's gonna win. They're like, there's no way.
And you said win, lose, or draw in the song.
Yeah.
First black president, win, lose, draw.
And when he won, it was crazy. And I just remember going to, because Nas was on the record initially, and I remember going to the inauguration in D.C., and Jay called me, Jay-Z, he was like, yo, I got a verse for it. And I was like, where it at? He's like, you gonna hear it tonight. Where you going? I was like, I'm going to the club. He said, I'll be there. So he came to the club, and me and him was on the stage.
Hold on. I got Hov on the stage. I got Akon on the stage. I got Beyonce back there. I got motherfucking Jason Tina. I got Alex Gilman. I got everybody who came here for Barack Obama the motherfucking night, nigga.
And that's the first time I heard the verse. Because I performed My President is Black. He stopped the music. He's like, let me kick my verse. And he did his verse.
My president is black, in fact, he's halfway. So even in the racist mind, he's halfway. So if you got a racist mind, it's alright. My president is black, but his house is all white.
So I heard it in real time with everybody in D.C., and it was crazy. It was like phenomenal.
Martin Luther won so Barack Obama could run. Barack Obama ran so all the children could fly. So I'ma spread my wings. You can meet me in the sky.
Yeah.
What would be, you know, when you get your dinner with Barack and Michelle, what would be the one question you would ask them?
Oh, man, what do they do to keep it together? You know, with the pressure from the outside world, how do they stay pure? I feel like they're solid. I feel like they're a unit. I don't think it can be one without the other. But I got a list of questions, though, so if you want to hook that up, I got a list of questions for both of them.
I'll see what I can do. And now we would need a My President is Orange remix, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's my president right now. It's just some guy in the White House.
No more war, no more black, no more white lies. My president is black.
I want to close off by talking about you as an entrepreneur, just because you've done such a good job of transitioning and maturing in the rap game. And I know you had Gary Vee on the intro track to your album.
I sometimes secretly hope that my companies go out of business to zero.
When did you make that decision, and did you call Gary and say, yo, I'm using you for that show?
Yeah, but when I went into Gary, a lot of that conversation is when because I didn't know, I only remember his voice. So I knew what he was saying and what he would do, and I knew I would hear it because I listen to a lot of speakers all the time. I went to go do an interview with him at his office, and when I walked in, that's the first thing he said to me. He's like, yo, you're an entrepreneur. You should buy Wheaties.
I think you should buy Wheaties.
Right.
For like I'm being serious. I think of it more as hustling and entrepreneurship than even necessarily the music.
Absolutely. And I'm like, okay, all right, that sounds like a play. And we got into talking, but this is the first thing he ever said to me, so that's what I remember. So as time went on, I was doing the record. I was like, yo, I got to put somebody on this song, because I always like to put people talking that say something that's impactful. And what he said about, fear is not an option, like I felt that.
Fear is not an option. I prefer to lose.
And I feel like my fans and my followers needed to hear that, you know what I'm saying? This is how I want to set this record up, because I'm telling you the story about a guy who came from nothing, you know what I'm saying, and went through all these things that, even, like you said, selling drugs to both of my uncles. And, I should have been ashamed about that, but I kept, like, all these different pockets of things that happened to get to the end to say, they label us dealers. That's their law. With the hood, they label us heroes, entrepreneurs.
America, they label us dealers. That's their law. But the hood, yeah, they label us heroes, entrepreneurs.
And for him to say, yo, you should buy Wheaties. Because I let you know that same little kid that was running around, snotty nose, no shoes, dirty diaper, he's evolved with no stains on his jersey to somebody that can finally be able to do what he wanted to do, is be still self-made and be able to go out and tackle the world like anybody else with a Harvard degree. You know what I'm saying? But I graduated from the streets, you see what I'm saying, instead of Harvard. So I can do the same thing they do now, because I have the same resources and I got the same platform to stand on. So at the end of the day, I want to define the odds for all the young cats out here that are stuck in the struggle, to think they have to go, through college or go through all these different channels to even be that. Because if you don't have that opportunity or that option, you got this one. You know what I'm saying?
What's a lesson that you took from the streets that you use in your everyday business?
Oh man, if you do what's hard, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. Straight up.
Bet you feel like the whole world ain't on you. But what's the hold up? The whole world waiting on you.
So on that note, like, a lot of people say that the most important moments in their life happened when, they made a mistake or they failed, and you took that and learned it as a lesson. Do you have one of those moments?
Absolutely. You have to fail your way to success. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put that in the equation. Like, fear, is there. You know what I'm saying? You can either let it motivate you or destroy you. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be there. It's not going anywhere. The biggest war is in your head. But once you understand that, and you understand that it's okay to fail, the main objective is, what did you learn? Because you gotta learn something. Like, if you fail and you just keep failing, you don't learn anything, then you're crazy. But you have to learn. So for me, I used to be paranoid about playing my music for people or playing my music in the club, because I felt like I was already driving foreign cars and had all this jewelry and money. It's like, why would I try to be a corny rapper? But then back in my mind, my subconscious was like, okay, well, this was gonna get you out of the streets, so you gotta go for a full-fledged. So in the beginning, my palms used to be sweaty to play my music in the club. I'm like, oh my God. Cause I didn't want nobody to be like, oh, so you rapping now? Cause that's what people do to you, you know what I'm saying? They like to put their fears on you. Be like, that'll never happen. Nobody would have ever told me I would have sold, almost 20 million records. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, you gotta define the odds. So if you ask me, it's been times where somebody told me, like, I wouldn't be bigger than my block. I remember trying to sell my uncle my first CD, Lil J, and he looked me right in my eyes. Like, I was like, it's only $10. He's like, I'm not buying that, but give me a dime sack of that weed you selling though. This is my uncle. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and I was like, you want to buy my CD? He's like, man, you'll never be nobody. You'll never make it. Are you crazy? How's that even possible? So he's putting his fears on me. But every time I go back to the hood now for a family reunion or go to visit my family, he got to see me hop out that Rolls Royce with the chauffeur, and I be like, hey, how you doing, Unc? He's still sitting on that same block. He's like, where you been? I was like, all over the world, baby. You should try it. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Now he's asking for a CD.
Yeah, he wants. He's probably trying to stream me right now. The new album, he's streaming it.
I'm hearing voices in my head, think I'm schizophrenic. That's where they saying, let's get it from another planet.